All right, Tucker and Thompson. Here we are, Election Day.
It is Election Day.
It is Election Day. So what color do we wear?
I don't know. I'm not getting into that.
No?
I mean, what do you mean?
For the Civil War. Like, because, I mean, do we have to wear a color?
For the Civil War, you think there's... I was wondering where that was headed. I'm like, what do you mean? Yeah, man. I mean, I know what color I am. You know what I mean? I know what color I am.
I mean, I've never done this before. I'm not sure.
Hey, I'm with the guys that have the guns if it all goes down.
If we go shirts and skins, maybe? I don't know. I'm not sure how we're doing this.
That might not work out well either. That might not work out well. Are we? Is Trump winning, or what are we doing? How do you keep track today? I mean, I feel like they're setting you up for election interference. To be honest, like
you think?
You know what I mean? Like I'm like. In the mainstream media, if you go to X and you do a poll there and you look at the polls, like it's not even a question.
I get that, but isn't it more apt that you're on X if you're leaning right or no? Like, is left like really about X or no?
They were
before Elon bought it, but are they now?
I mean, I really don't know. The propaganda's still there. I can tell you that. I go there occasionally. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the propaganda's still there.
I don't go on X still. I still don't go on it.
No, I'll go there to look for what I believe to be probably the most honest news I can get.
That's what a lot of people are saying.
Yeah.
Everybody goes, yeah, that's the only place to go for your... But I stayed clear of it because I just worry that it's just... I don't know. I don't like any of it. How's that? But yeah, I think...
I don't trust any of it, but...
Right, and I know that he's not editing anything. That I get.
Right,
so
that's what I feel. I feel like, yeah.
But I don't know if the left is going there to bitch. And the little bit I've seen it don't look like they are. I don't know. I really don't know. I mean,
maybe it's my safe place. I'm just going to go there and make myself feel good. Rather than like CNN or Fox News.
Well, the thing that scares me about that is that I've never, like these...
Our Rogan, I go to Rogan. I feel like I get better news from Rogan than I do anywhere else.
100%.
Like it's definitely straight down the middle.
I agree with that. He'll talk about... In fact, I listened to him talk to people about eating that are vegans. You know what I mean? That John Joseph, he talked with him about being a vegan and all the great things about being a vegan. Yeah. Then I heard him last night telling Elon Musk that they were talking about how meat's good for you and that vegans just kind of push it a little bit too much. But, I think there's good and bad in both. I think that limiting the amount of meat would help you.
Why?
Why? Yeah. We were much healthier as a country when we ate less meat.
According to who?
The facts, the facts. It's just the facts.
I got to see those facts.
Watch Forks Over Knives.
Evolution teaches otherwise.
Forks Over Knives. Watch it.
Forks Over Knives.
Forks Over Knives.
Who wrote it? Who produced it?
It was the heart surgeon at the Cleveland Clinic that
you lost me. You lost me. It's over.
Surgery.
Forget it.
Invented bypass.
I don't trust a thing you're saying after that. When you just said the medical industry, like, sorry, you didn't have a leg to stand up.
The problem with him is that he doesn't treat... he doesn't believe in treating things medically with surgeries and stuff anymore. He believes in treating it with
a diet.
Correct.
Yes.
And that is, I know when I was a kid, I know you ate different than I did probably growing up, but I grew up with, my grandma was
sure we just ate the same thing.
No, probably not. My grandma, like everything we ate was like from scratch. That's how I grew up. Like, we didn't buy store-bought bread. Like, I went to your house, you guys had Wonder Bread, and I was like, ooh, it was soft and delicious. I was like, that's nice.
Yeah.
I never grew up with that. I had only homemade bread growing up. I ate, everything we had was homemade. There was literally my grandma's pies and whatever it was, like even jelly, jams, all that. My grandma made it all herself.
Well, then that's definitely better.
It is better.
But it's got nothing to do with meat.
We ate very little meat. A lot of times we didn't have meat. A lot of times when she would make dinner, the meat was just seasoning the beans or things like that. I mean, she was feeding a big amount of people. They say in that documentary, it says that the average person in the United States eats 100 pounds more meat than they did in 1920.
I mean, we're just eating more food, period, than we did in 1920 because there's more food available.
I don't know if that's true. I think that you ate a lot of food when you came off the farm working. You come off the work. You know what it's like after a hard day's work. You need to regenerate yourself.
Yeah.
So I don't think that's true. I think
really
that
don't
we're
have
eating
it.
worse food.
I really don't have much to say here. So I'm just making an argument for. But I do believe. I mean, I eat according to what I believe evolution teaches. Like cavemen ate meat.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean that's all they ate.
No.
And it's about limiting. It's about limiting.
That was definitely the center of the plate.
I don't think it was the center.
What do you
of the
think
plate.
they ate?
Not to the size portions it is now.
No.
I mean, well, think about it.
That's
Just economics in general kept you from, you know what I mean, just constantly feeding on just pure meat. Economics kept you away from that.
Well, at some point,
much cheaper
but if you're a
to fill it with
caveman,
beans or.
I'm saying if you're a caveman.
No, I mean a caveman. Yeah, I guess.
We're talking about basic diet. As a caveman, I'm going to go kill an animal. I'm going to eat that animal, and then I'm going to raise some vegetables. You know, I'm going to that's going to be my diet. So the center of my diet is going to be the animal, and then whatever else I can.
You think you
pick out
you weren't there? You can't back that up.
Well, I mean, you're right. I don't know.
I mean, the thing is, when you bring somebody from another country into this country,
I know what the Bible says.
The Bible tells you that we ate frickin' meat.
Yeah.
Where? What does it say? We just had big ass plates of meat. It says that in the Bible.
No, but it did. It lends itself to the evidence of meat as.
I'm not saying we didn't eat it. I'm just saying it doesn't need to be so ridiculous like it is now.
No, it's not.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying we didn't eat it. I'm just saying it's not the center point. Like you're not eating like a 1 pound steak at dinner. You know what I'm saying?
I am.
Yeah, well, you shouldn't be. It's not good for you.
That's what you say.
Better.
I just don't believe it.
It's better for you to try some other. First of all, vegetables are always good for you, but it's better for you to limit nothing that's not in moderation is good for you. Period.
Okay.
And meat is included in that. That's all I'm saying. I don't buy into the forks and over knives where you eat vegan. I don't believe that, but I do believe that you could benefit by knowing some of those things. What's a vegan? Vegan is they won't eat any animal-based products whatsoever.
So what are they eating?
They're eating beans and tofu and things of that nature. Yeah, and they're very healthy, very strong. There's no issues with them.
I know plenty of vegans that are not healthy. So.
I know plenty that are strong. I know that work out every day, and like one's an MMA fighter actually. John Joseph, the one that was on. There's plenty of it. You just got to eat, the right proteins and things like that. Now, I'm not saying that I would want to go that extreme. I'm not even saying that, but I'm saying that hey, put a little more broccoli on your plate. Maybe have a meal without it. Like I said, I grew up without meat. We had. Like, my grandma would make pork chops. I remember that.
The Bible says we shouldn't eat pork.
Yeah, so it says that. I don't know. But we would have that. And you don't eat pork at all?
Not much.
No? No bacon? No sausage?
I love bacon.
No sausage?
I love bacon. But no, I don't eat breakfast that much, but I love bacon. Bacon's delicious. But
it is absolutely. Turkey bacon's not bad either, though, actually.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
Yeah,
I can deal with it.
I try to. So today my diet consists of things that are as least amount as processed as possible. So I just try to remove the process.
Well, that's a key thing to vegan is processed. That's getting rid of the processed.
Or seed oils. I try not to eat seed oils.
But plus, not only that, when a caveman was eating the meat that they were eating, it wasn't injected with growth hormones and steroids either. So that's a whole nother thing.
And I do travel far distances to get my beef from a farm that is not government injected.
Difference. Yeah, that's a definite big difference. But I still think that you could take, if you take meat out of your diet, if you had to take 100 pounds of meat out of your diet, it'd be easy. You could do it. 365 days, it's only like, 4 ounces a day or something? 3 ounces that you could take out of your diet every day. I think that's a doable thing, and it'd be better.
You're making me uncomfortable. Move the conversation along.
Not when it's something you like.
Back to the polls.
I'm just saying.
How did we get there?
How did we get there?
How did
you
we get
asked
to
me
the
what
meat?
a vegan was. Is what
That's not how we got there. We got there because your boy Rogan was interviewing some.
Oh yeah,
vegan
I said he did both sides. He said the one time he was saying the things that are good about meat.
So it was news. We were talking about news.
Yeah.
Where do you get your news source? We're live, right? Where does everyone get their news source? I want to know. Where do you go for your news?
Source from Tucker and Thompson.
I mean, you might be. It's probably the best thing going regionally, to be honest. Probably the most honest thing going regionally.
I think
we're going to cut it to you straight.
Yeah. I mean, that's the way I like it.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you when I'm making stuff up, and I'll tell you when I know things.
I'm always making up stuff, so that's good.
Yeah, you're an antagonist too. I watched you do that to Guido on the show. Guido got the ticket.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and you're just razzing him.
Yesterday when I had the prosecutor on here, I'm like, so if a guy's in a cement truck,
is that what he was in a cement truck?
Yeah, that's right. He didn't get a ticket. The guy in the neighborhood yelled.
Oh, the guy. Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's what it was for going fast. I've never seen Guido go over like 10. He's a grandma when he drives.
Is he?
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
And you were just giving him the business.
Oh, for sure. I was definitely giving him the business.
Leave the
for sure.
He was replying like, no.
Well, it's funny too because Guido will play along. So if you're doing that, he'll go, "What do you mean?" Like he'll just say, like, "I didn't do that." You know, he'll do silly shit. He's pretty funny.
He is funny.
But yeah. So I mean, that's all I was saying. News source Twitter. I don't follow it. I just think that it's maybe one-sided too much.
Where do you get it? Where do you go for news?
I take in everything, really. I mean,
really,
do.
You're one of those. You go from CNN to Fox News to Newsmax to MSNBC.
I do a lot of like online searches. Like I'll go to the internet page and I'll put up, the news. Like whenever you go to your opening graph, it's got the news, and then I'll click on the news button. I'll go look through all that. I watch Fox News. I watch.
It's hard for me to watch any mainstream
Spectrum News or whatever. I'll watch. I just yeah. I
can sniff the propaganda out of it.
I
instantly.
agree. I can too. I can too.
It's
but
so
what
hard.
I don't like about Twitter though, when I go on there, is it just doesn't seem user friendly to me.
Really?
Like I can't see like just scrolling through there and like looking for news on that. I don't even understand how that would be even. It just doesn't. I don't know. It just doesn't seem comfortable to me. Like it's just not an. I don't know. It's not an easy source.
I don't think any of them are made. I don't think there's anything that exists that's going to give you what you're looking for. Honestly,
my news has always been the newspaper. That's my thing, but that doesn't exist no more.
No way, that's gone. Man.
But that's my favorite, dude. There was nothing to me better than getting up in the morning, having my coffee, my newspaper.
I don't understand why they can't just. Why can't there just be a news channel that gives you news anymore?
There can be.
There isn't, though.
No, there's not.
And all I'm saying is I just want to listen to you without you telling me what to think.
Yeah.
I just want you to tell me.
I do like the
a guy
local,
murdered his wife in so-and-so.
I feel like the local's not bad. Like Fox 8. I like Fox 8. I think they're not bad.
They're still full of propaganda.
A little bit.
Did you see that clip on Joe Rogan where they all show back? They run back the clip, like, of what?
Oh, of all the different news sources.
And they're all saying the exact same thing.
Yeah,
yes.
I saw that, yeah.
Yeah. So
but the story is all the same. I mean, we could probably pull that off. Because that video clip that you're talking about, there's what, like 30 in there?
Yeah.
Okay, how many local news channels are in the country?
I don't know, but don't you find it
3,000?
Astronomically
so
insane
that had the same exact thing, wording.
But
at different
there's
times.
No coincidences. I mean, come on, man. Where did that come from?
There's one thing to say it's not a coincidence, but to say that in pure numbers, that to show 30 doesn't, compare. It's 10% maybe. I don't even think it's 10%. It's probably alarming. Like 5%.
Which it's alarming.
It's 2%. I said it. That's what it is now.
Now you know. And now everyone knows the percentage of
But
honest.
You see what I'm saying? Like, I mean, there's so many. You're going by that. But for you to put that out there and show that, and there is, like, it's about 30. Maybe if it's 100, it's nothing compared to all the local news channels in the United States.
The problem is they're all a part of the same systemically broken.
They are the same part of the network.
It's just
they
broke.
are all part of the network.
So the network dictates the news rather than the news just speaking for itself. And what we need today, and I think, thank God for the internet and things like this, because you actually get from the place reporting. You get live. You can hear somebody that's actually on site.
Yeah, right.
That's giving you, play by play. That's why Rogan's so important right now, because he's just.
Rogan is like, podcasts to me are the new talk show.
Yeah, and so when you do your news channel, who's going to give you the news? Are you just going to trust the major networks to give you your news, or are you just gonna?
I just don't watch. I never did though. I guess that's probably my problem. I want to just read it. Like I like that. Like I loved my newspaper, dude. I loved my newspaper. That was my favorite thing in the morning.
I wish we could go back to the newspaper.
Oh, I loved it
because it wasn't so sensationalized then. Because everyone didn't get instant gratification.
Right.
So you actually had to have an art form of
writing, and
you were a broadcaster.
And,
you were reporting. You were a reporter.
So that's why I guess I click on the news channels like I do and just read them. I don't even usually play the videos. I usually read the article.
I agree.
I like it that way. I don't know why. That's my thing. But the news channels, I'll put them on. Like right now, especially with elections going on, I want to see the up-to-dates.
Like how? That's my. I mean, I guess that's why I was going
Fox
in this
news. I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, I mean, there's still, and what I picked up from Fox News. This is what I discerned as I listened to them briefly the other day. I'm like, oh, they're just telling you it's close because they want you to tune in, and I think that's what all of them are doing.
I think that's wonderful for them to do you that.
They want you to tune in.
The best thing they could do is to tell you it's close.
It's so close, razor thin. They say
that's good. Then you'll go out and vote. What if they're sitting on air and they say, "Oh, we got it. It's a landslide," and then nobody goes and votes and you lose. So I think it's the best thing they could do.
I think it was. That's a brilliant point. But as I look at that, and then I go to actually like. What I love about X is that you go there, and it's just a bunch of people that are voting online that are telling you who they're voting for.
You know what? He was talking about, that's what originally brought this up. You said that the polls on X, and the polls on X do say it's Trump all the way.
They seem more accurate to me. Once again, I don't.
But you have no clue.
I have no idea if it is. It just seems.
You hope they are. That's what it is. That's what you mean.
Well, in this case, I do hope they are. In other cases, I don't care. But in this particular one, I feel like the safety of the globe depends on it, which is weird because I've never felt this kind of tension going into an election. The last one, even, I'm like, well, whatever,
Well, I talked about that with Guido this week. Because I feel like Kamala is bad. Like it was what they did with Ukraine, especially, is the one that keeps and out of her own mouth. So I heard her tell me the story. She went on air and she said what she did. She said she went to Ukraine, and she told Zelensky, "Don't worry, we got your back." Never talked to Russia. Never talked. Well, I told Guido, isn't that the same as when you're in a fight in the bar and a guy comes up to you and tells you that Howard is running his mouth to you, and you tell the little guy over here, you know what I mean? Oh, don't worry, I got you. Then he's going to go fight Howard, right? Mm-hmm. If you go, well, I'd watch out. Howard's pretty tough. He'd go, oh, shit. And he'd start minding his P's and Q's, wouldn't
he? Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's what she did. I mean, I'm not saying, I'm trying to, I guess that's oversimplifying it when you're talking world, domination, but I still think people are people and they react the same way. I mean, it's the same type of situation. I mean, you antagonize that to go on by telling them, I got your back. You basically told them, go ahead, go to war with Russia, I got your back. And that's the worst case scenario. Trump wouldn't have done that.
Just look at the last 4 years and what's occurred. That's what's mind blowing to me. I can't even believe when I see one Kamala, yard sign. I'm like, have you been alive for the last 4 years? Have you not participated in society?
The thing that sucks about that is, to me, I was just telling my wife today, is that I see more Kamala signs than I ever seen Biden or Clinton
back in the day. Yeah.
I mean,
I don't know.
And that scares me a little bit.
I think that's intentional. I think that's where the good majority of the money went. But I don't understand how anyone could live in the world today that we're in and have experienced the last 4 years and say to themselves, it's a good choice. When you understand, when you have so much information about the industrial war complex, you have so much information about, just pick immigration.
But anybody under 30 doesn't have any of that shit. They don't know that. The people under 30, as they're scrolling through their Facebook or Twitter, they see a little comment that Trump said, Puerto Ricans are garbage, or they see, that's all they're seeing. That's it.
I wonder. I don't know this to be true, but I wonder if do they pay attention to that? Because if they're not paying attention to the other stuff, are they paying attention to that?
Did you when you were 24?
No.
Okay.
Not at all.
Neither are they.
Ever.
Neither
Never.
are they.
I don't ever remember.
And neither are they.
You think?
I know.
But it's so affecting them at this point.
They don't know that.
It's way
yet.
more than... it's affecting them way more. Back in the day, like, when we were young...
They're like, they got this. I was like, if
we
it's
were
Bush
naive.
or Clinton, I'm good. Although it was my first heartbreak when Clinton beat Bush. That was the first election I voted in.
Even then,
broke my heart.
Even
dude.
then, you were.
Broke my heart.
I didn't care. I just didn't care. But I didn't.
I just liked Bush, and it was
The
my
world
first
seemed to
election.
be a safer
and he was just
place.
such a nice guy, and I liked him. Maybe
And
he
he's
had
just
the
as
old
corrupt
lady,
as
Miss
they are.
Oh, I didn't know that though. Miss Bush and the little dog. I thought I was heartbroken.
So
when
tell me,
Clinton
I
won.
just got this way.
Huh?
Just tell me I got this way because I've gotten older and I'm just. I don't know. Like,
dude,
how did I?
I mean, it's as simple
why is it?
It's as
Tell me it's not that
simple as-
important.
It's as
Medicate
simple-
me.
It's as simple. It isn't that important.
You don't think so?
It isn't that important. Tomorrow, no matter what happens, life goes on. Unless nuclear war comes up. That's the only thing that's the big problem, and that's Harris.
I
and
do
that's
remember.
why I
Now that you say
Kamala's a big
that,
fight.
now that you say that, I do remember being overtly aware of the Reagan, whoever he was running against
The
then.
Iran contraband.
That whole thing. I remember being aware of nuclear war.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. And so, yes, there are monumental reasons to be concerned.
That's something I'm
If
a little
Kamala
nervous.
is elected.
I think that they're smarter people than that. I think that everybody wants to not do that. I don't think there's anybody who wants
Arguably, the smartest person on the planet right now is Elon Musk.
Right now?
Right? Like,
mean,
he's pretty brilliant. Well, maybe not the smartest, but pretty smart.
He put some good people around
Pretty
him,
smart.
and he has some great ideas. I don't
Pretty
know how
smart.
smart he is. I don't know.
Was smarter than the average
Bear, yeah.
guy. Okay? Sucker. You know?
He said on Joe Rogan that he is top 20, and he's one of only 2 Americans that are on Diablo, which is apparently a game. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, but he made a statement the other day that was concerning. He said, if Kamala is elected, it will be the last election. Why would he say that?
Well, that doesn't mean he's right.
It doesn't mean he's right.
They always say that.
I've never heard that.
Oh, God, yes. They always say this. Yeah, it's always gloom
You don't
and
feel
doom.
that, though?
You don't remember frickin' the years of frickin' what was his name that died in this? What was his name? What the hell? Rush Limbaugh. You don't remember him? Everybody was good. It was always gloom and
No,
doom.
I don't remember Rush Limbaugh.
Really?
No, I never listened to him.
Oh, everything was gloom and doom. Glenn Beck. That's why I don't listen to them.
I mean,
Glenn Beck runs around scaring the living shit out of you.
I think there's a lot to be terrified of right now.
A really
Nuclear
good
war
friend of
scary.
mine. A really good friend of mine. He's religious.
You think she's competent enough to handle nuclear war?
I don't think she's going to handle
Conversations?
anything anyways. I don't think she's going to handle anything anyways. She's a puppet, regardless of what.
And that doesn't terrify you? Is Donald Trump a puppet?
No, God, no. He's not a puppet at all. That's why they don't want him in there. I mean, he's not part of the system.
Exactly.
What I like about Trump is that if you get Trump, you get Elon Musk, you get Vivek Ramaswamy.
You get the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
You get the best of the best. Like, of anybody that I would ever consider for president ends up on that ticket.
He said he's going to put Elon in charge, and Elon's going to cut 80% of the government.
He's gonna.
You should vote for him just for that.
He's gonna make him what did he say? The Doge. He's gonna make him head of the Doge, which
I don't
is
know
gonna
what
be.
the Doge is, but
that's because Elon just made it up. You know what a Doge coin is, right?
No,
A Doge coin is like a Bitcoin of some sort.
I've heard of that, but I've never understood Smurf money. So no, I've never understood that.
Yeah, I'm with you, but
you know what I mean?
but
That unicorn
anyways,
money.
Dogecoin, he finds it funny. Elon Musk finds it funny to call it Doge, which would be Department of Government Efficiency. But he finds it humorous to call it Doge.
I never connected those dots. But
no, I'm not saying you're right. But the thing is, just remember, my buddy, and he's a religious guy, this guy I know, he told me, he said that fear is the work of the devil.
it is.
So don't be afraid.
Yeah, for God has not given us a spirit of fear, but power, love, and a sound mind. I agree.
Well, yeah, you gave it to me.
I agree with that. However, wisdom is from God.
Well, there's also God helps those who help themselves. So it's up to you to get out there and vote and try and fix things. But I mean, it definitely
God's
can happen
will.
regardless.
I heard somebody say this the other day. And I was just like, I can't stand when I hear these sound bites, and it just drives me nuts. Said God's will be carried out no matter who wins. And while that might be true, it is not true to say that one is the will of God and the other is not. Like, if you tell me that one platform, either platform is cool with God, I'm telling you, you don't know what you're talking about.
No, I don't think that's what anybody's
one
saying.
Platform,
nobody's saying that.
One platform professes,
oh my God,
Jesus, and another platform professes abortion.
I took you off of the frickin'. You weren't even on this whole time. How's that?
Oh,
it was
nothing?
just me.
Just
no,
you were there
talking. Yeah, no, you're with me, but I mean sound wise, but not video.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. I mean, that would have been weird. You just been sitting there talking to yourself.
Yeah, that's what it's. Well, no, your voice is there. The voice is there.
No, good.
I just noticed. I'm like, Jesus, I got to keep paying attention. I got to get myself on my game here. This is ridiculous. I got my sound right, but now I'm going to do stupid shit with that. But
you got too much to do. You need another guy in here.
I do need another guy in there. I do. I want more interviews and stuff like that. But anyways, my point is that I don't think anybody's saying that that it's God's will and God's okay if it's Kamala or God's okay if it's Trump. That's not anybody. Nobody's saying that.
Oh, there's
that's not
a lot
what they're
of people saying that.
No, that would be like saying that God's okay if the kid lives or dies.
I think you should trust me when I tell you it's better. It's in the best interest of our country if Kamala Harris is not our president.
That's 100%. I don't disagree with that.
Being spiritually in tune.
That's 100%. I agree with that.
Trust me.
I 100% agree with
just
that.
listen to me. If you've
I'm
never
not disagreeing with that.
Listen to me. Every spiritual alarm I have is sounding right now.
All I'm saying is it's not the end of the world if it doesn't.
Oh, the end of the world is near.
No,
the return of Christ is imminent.
It is imminent, but it's the problem is everybody wants to. It may happen in your lifetime. I'm not saying it won't.
Oh, it will.
No, it may. I'm not saying it won't, but the odds are most people think they're so important it's going to be in their lifetime, and most of you are just a blip along the way is all you are, and eventually it will happen. I agree with that, but you're probably just
every prophecy spoken to confirm the return of Christ is fulfilled. Every one of them.
Okay.
And there were hundreds, if not thousands, if you dig deep enough. And every one of them have been fulfilled. There's
even know
nothing
what they are.
waiting.
So what are they? Let's go.
There's tons. You go through Matthew 24. You
I
can
thought there was
see
only 7 signs.
No. There's
I gotta
prophecy.
stop watching movies.
Yeah. You're mixing your stuff up here. You just mixed it all up.
So what's the signs?
The Bible speaks of many signs that would trigger the return of Christ. And all of them have been fulfilled. And so.
But what are they?
Give me a Bible. I'll walk you through a bunch of them, and if you would like, I'll come back to you next week, and I'll just start reading for you. But Matthew 24 tells us of all of the signs that would signify and be there. Wars, rumors of wars. There would be famines, pestilence. There would be signs in the heavens. Have you ever
seen? It's always been
signs in the heavens?
No, the wars. Hasn't there? There's been wars forever.
Forever, but none like we have right now. It seems like the world is at war right now. Actually, there are rumors.
We actually had a war that was called the World War I and World War II.
But never on the scale of which we see today.
How can that not be on that scale?
The entire globe is now involved in all these wars. Before, when you had a world war, all the superpowers were involved. Now there's war everywhere.
I don't think that's true. It was the whole world. That's why it's called a world war.
But I give it to you. Yes, I'm saying, yes, that's true. But on the scale of world war, it's exponentially worse today. Think of it.
I don't think so.
There's a war within a war, and then another war next to the war, and then wars within wars, and then civil wars
forever. We just have better
The Bible
weapons.
says you'd say that, but he said there would be massive deception in the end. This is all found in Matthew 24, by the way. He said, "Be careful, because you're going to be deceived. People are going to come, and they're going to say, it's not the end, or they're going to say, don't worry about it. Signs in the heavens." Matthew 24 tells us there'll be signs in the heavens. Have you ever in your life, look at me, have you ever, I've been around for 51 years, and I have never seen the northern lights as I'm seeing them this year.
Yeah, I don't know what
Ever.
that is. What is that?
That's the government lights.
First of all, you're wrong about that. I mean, not ever.
Have you ever?
25 years ago.
I have never seen Northern Lights.
Some years ago we did, yeah.
I never saw.
I remember
I never saw.
It was something I didn't even know about. My journeyman's the one who was, and
now they're every week.
Look.
Now we see Northern Lights every week.
It was one time I saw.
Doesn't seem bizarre to you.
It was just one time.
I mean, it seems like there's cosmic signs everywhere we go.
I don't know. I don't know
I read
enough
on the
about
news.
Science for that.
I don't either, but I read on the news the other day. I was just scrolling, and it said the moon disappeared for like, I don't know. They're like, we don't know where the moon went. They couldn't find the moon. I'm like, what? And I didn't research anything beyond it because, well, if you can't find the moon, I don't know what to tell you to look at it. So
you got to stay off Twitter. This is what it is, dude. X is not it, dude.
He said, X, listen to you, man. X is not it. It's funny because I listen to people know where I'm at, like in my mind, so they'll send me stuff. Like this one girl sent me something the other day, and it was about this CIA agent that before he was getting ready to die in 1992, he records like this 15 minutes of confession
about MK Ultra,
just about everything they're doing, and he talks about how they got this little machine, this little flashy light, like in Men in Black, where they flash you and you have a heart attack, and it seems like you die of natural causes. He talks about there being this breed of people, alien. He calls them gray people, and these gray people now are in the earth, and you can tell them because of their eyes. You know, there's no white in their eyes.
I had gray people. I had a gray people. I had gray people when I was a kid that used to come after me. True story.
True story.
That's a
right?
true. That's a fact. Like
you did just make a little scary face there.
Yeah.
He he predicts COVID-19. He says in the early or in the 17, 18, 19 years, 20, 17, 18, 19, he said there's going to be a pandemic of upper respiratory infection. And if I'm telling you the truth, you'll know it because in 30 years it'll happen. And then he says the chemtrails, they're raining poison down on you to reduce the population of the world to 800,000.
800,000?
800,000, yes.
That's
not
low.
even, yeah, that's like,
low.
I mean, it's 8 billion now, right? Like,
I don't know what it is, but it's a lot more than that. That's all I know.
It's
huge.
Yeah, and then he talks about, and then this is the one, and he names names. This guy names names. This is the kind of news I read, like I listen to, right? He names names, like specific names within the organization, and then he says this. He says, and the most effective tool we have to control population.
West?
I don't know.
Crystal, who's the guy that did it? She's watching.
She watched.
She said I seen that vid. It's on Facebook.
It's terrifying.
Who's the guy that did that left that? That's what I want to know.
And he says the fluoride that they're putting in our water.
Yeah, I heard. Well, fluoride they say is bad for. Remember they used to make us do it when we were kids.
Why? And then I'm like, dude, why did they have us squishing our mouth full of? I think of that as a kid. That was the government. I don't trust anybody.
Well, look at the vaccines back then. Our parents with the big blister on the side and the freaking, I don't know. That's like that's even, I saw Kamala Harris said that she said that Robert Kennedy is a wackadoodle basically with the vaccine wackadoodle. I think it was her that said
Robert Kennedy is telling the truth.
Oh, he's telling the truth 100%. If nothing else, Robert Kennedy is looking for the truth and trying to get you the truth regardless.
Okay, if you're voting for Kamala Harris, I don't understand. Isn't he a better candidate?
Yeah.
And why are you not outraged that he was not allowed to be your candidate?
That's what I told. Me and Guido had this conversation.
It's so annoying. I'm like,
today. I go, they might have got a Democratic vote from me if they had him on a ticket.
I'm telling you, if Robert Kennedy runs for president, I would be very highly likely.
An independent. I wouldn't have done it on independent because it would have been a waste of vote. I know that.
Right, because then you're throwing it away.
If they would have thrown him on that Democratic ticket, they probably would have got my vote.
I think he would have won.
He had a lot better chance than she does.
100%.
In my opinion. I mean, I don't.
Okay, so knowing that, how in the world can you say that she stands a chance to win?
Because I see those signs and that freaks me out. The signs freak me out, dude.
You see, but don't you think
my buddy years ago, like when Clinton, they thought I was crazy when I said Trump was going to win.
I remember
and I did it by signs. When they said that, I said,
the signs.
I didn't count the signs, but I mean, I'm driving down the road and all I see is fucking Trump signs. It can't be anything but that, right? I mean, you don't see any other signs. I don't even know what a Clinton sign looks like. And by the way, dude, who was her VP? Nah, nobody does. It's funny.
Who was it?
I don't know.
You don't know?
Did it. They just
Somebody
did a
tell
skit
us.
on. They did a skit on Saturday Night Live, and they bring out this guy, and he goes, "I was Hillary Clinton's VP," and everybody's like, "Hey, hi, buddy." Nobody knows.
I wonder who it was.
Nobody knows.
Oh my gosh, that's
Best kept secret in the world.
but we learned a lot
I think it was
about
Tim Kaine. I think is who it was, or
Really?
something like that. I think
We
But
learned
it
a
doesn't
lot
even
about
sound familiar, right?
No, not at all.
I think that's what it was. Yeah.
I mean, but Pence was a waste of air.
I liked Pence too. I was like when
He
he
was such a
debated
treasonous-
Kamala. I was like, wow, what. I mean, I could see voting for him. He riding a Harley, like this is my kind of guy. And then that way he just stabbed him in the back at the end. I thought that was horrible.
Loyalty tells me a lot about a person.
Yeah, for sure.
You got no loyalty.
You see LeBron James tattoo? Did you see that meme that's out there? They said there was somebody just like it's a picture of LeBron James with his shirt off, and they're just laughing hysterically. And at the side of it says loyalty along his side, and then they show all the different teams he's on. It was pretty funny.
Yeah, he got none. Yeah, the Cavs whooped him up pretty good the other day. That was good to see.
8-0, dude.
Yeah,
8-0.
they're going to be all right.
They're 8-0.
Yeah, it makes you want to go buy some season tickets to the Cavs games.
I mean, I want to go with your tickets when you're not going, but
You go buy them. Marlon had them when LeBron was here.
Did he?
Yeah, we were at every game when LeBron was here.
I had back then. I was doing my construction real big in a company that I was buying most of my material from. We had tickets in the 5th or 6th row, I believe, right behind the visitors bench. So I would go to probably at least 10 or 12 games a year or something like that.
Back when LeBron was here?
Yeah, when LeBron was here.
That was a golden time.
Yeah, we were sitting. Actually, my daughter one time we're sitting there. One time we sat next to Mike Fratello. He was sitting next to us. The other time we were there, we were like 3 over from Joe Dumars, and my daughter, at the time, she's maybe 10, 11. I don't know. She's young. She's small. And she's got her basketball. She goes over to get Dumars to sign it. And she goes over there right while the game's going on. It's not a break. It's a game's going on. He snatches her by her shirt and throws her in a seat next to him, just pushes her to the seat next to him. And then as soon as there's a timeout, he signs her ball. He was nice as the pie, but scared to live it. I mean, Joe Dumars is a big son of a bitch. She's a little girl, you know what I mean? It was pretty crazy. Yeah. But yeah, they were cool seats, and we got to see. It was cool because of the visitors bench, because we got to see so many different people throughout, while we were there, and like Usher would walk past us and stuff like that. It was kind of because Usher would come across the court, and then he'd come up that side usually. And
don't talk about it.
It was kind of neat.
Shh.
What's that?
Don't talk about Usher.
Why? Because of Diddy? Yeah, the whole Diddy thing. It's not his fault. He's like a victim, if nothing else, isn't he? Wasn't he a little boy that was there? He'd be a victim.
Was he?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, yeah. P. Diddy took him in when he was like 16 or 15 or something. He's a victim. You can't be mad at him for that.
No, I didn't know.
Plus his music. Oh, my God.
But I just knew he was associated.
Do you still like R&B and stuff?
Old school. You know what I mean? I'll listen to old school. Like, I don't listen to any of it today. Because never?
Oh, God, I love R&B.
I have was that Sirius Radio?
Yeah.
So I have them set. Like, old school.
Yeah, and me and my wife were in a car
school
today, and I was like, yeah, that's all I listen to anymore. Like, it's just talk shows. I don't listen, because I get in the car with her, and it's like she's jamming it out, and it's like, oh, this is nice, And then I get back in my car, and it's like Joe Rogan.
Yeah, that's all I listen to. Yeah, it's just old, man.
And I'm like, is this because I'm getting old, or... I mean, yeah, getting mad at him would be like getting mad at Justin Bieber.
No, I wouldn't either. No, I wouldn't. I just heard his name associated with the Diddy scandal, and I'm like, shh, don't talk about him.
No, he's good. Bieber's going religious now. He's singing gospel.
Yeah. It seems authentic too. Seems really genuine.
Definitely does. That song he sings, what's that? He sings it a cappella, and it's not a religious song. The one where it's what the hell's the name of that song? And he's just sitting there singing, and he's talking about if what it's like to, like, if you had everything and everybody screaming your name and you were so lonely. Lonely, that's it.
Oh, no, I've never heard it.
Oh, my God. This is one of the greatest songs. It's so powerful. When you hear it, you hear that song and you go, Diddy was definitely fucking him in the ass. You know it. Like, you hear that song and you go, this guy.
I mean, you can tell by that little video they did together where Diddy was with him and he's like, tell him what we're doing today, you know, and he's a little kid, and he's like, we're driving around his Lamborghini, and you can just look in his eyes and see, like, he's terrified.
I hope not. I hope that's not true. I hope that it comes out that that's not true. I hope it's not. I really do hope it's not true. Yeah, I mean, first of all, Bieber seemed to be a pretty good kid.
He did.
You know what I mean? But, I mean, he's... I hope
he's
that's
telling
not
you
true.
something. He's telling you something.
He is telling you something, but he's not exactly saying that yet, or he hasn't yet, anyways, I should say. But lonely. You got to hear this song.
Yeah, I'll check it out.
It is absolutely. I mean, it's a game changer. That song. When I hear it, it's like that's the first time I was like, man, this dude's got some pipes. Like he can sing.
He can sing.
But the emotion that's in it is just.
Yeah,
it's unreal. Yeah, it's
that's unfortunate.
There.
That's terrible.
But I mean, a lot of that had to do with just being a rich kid, starting out. You know what I mean? Like just having everything. He's right, having everything, being young, being dumb, and just making bad decisions. And he's definitely not doing that today. But I don't know if Diddy touched him. I hope he didn't. I really do. I hope for his sake that he didn't. You know, but.
Yeah, I don't know either, but it sure does seem that way.
I hope nobody got touched, I guess, is my thing. I hope nobody ever did. I know they do.
There's a lot.
I hope that nobody did. That's my whole thing.
It's just, you can tell if something is bad.
There's something bad there.
It's terribly,
there's no
and it's
question.
evil. That evil is there because no one is telling on no one. Everyone just wants to be quiet.
Yeah, you're seeing it. They're saying that. Did you see that they're saying that the DOJ went after him for one reason and one reason alone? To get all these people to
get dirt on them so they can control them.
So they could get them to endorse Kamala.
And here it is. It's happening, isn't it?
I guess all the people that have endorsed her are on them party list.
Yeah. It's evil. Evil's worse than we could ever have imagined. And that's what's wrong. Because most of us...
Do they know they're evil?
Yeah.
Do they?
When you get to that place, you know. You've sold out.
I mean, I know Diddy thought he was evil. I know that. But I'm saying, like,
the others do too. They know what they're doing.
You don't think that they're doing the best for the country?
You think Oprah thinks that? Gates?
Yeah, I think maybe
Bill Gates. You think Bill Gates thinks that?
I think they're arrogant. I think they think.
I know they're arrogant.
I think they think they know what's best for you.
You're so kind. Your heart is so pure. You're like my wife, man.
No.
I tell my wife, like, I'm the only dark side you have, man. I just think that there's such an evil that exists within the heart of people that if we were to understand it, it would just frighten us, terrify us. We wouldn't be able to sleep at night.
But you think that in their minds, they're going, this is really going to screw them. I got them. You don't think that they're going.
I think their appetite for their lust for whatever it is they're after is so enormous that they don't care what happens to people.
And they don't think that it's better
they don't
for
care,
us or better for them.
They don't care if you have none. They don't care if they drink your blood. They don't care if they murder your children, send them to war. They don't care because it's all about
what about
them.
that? They said that Trump said Liz Cheney should be lined up and shot. Did you see that?
That's not what he said at all.
Jesus Christ.
She should know the effects of war is what he said.
That's all he's saying. If you're going to go make those rules.
You're going to send my kids to war.
Yeah, you should go out there and wear them.
Yeah, because silently that's what this administration is doing even right now, sending troops to war, and they're saying nothing.
No, there's not. There's nobody on active duty anywhere in the country.
You keep smoking that reefer, son. Yeah. That's not, yeah, okay.
I mean, that's crazy, right?
It's
a
crazy thing
crazy.
to even. But what's crazier is that people believe that nonsense.
Oh, it's nuts. Yeah,
it's like you believe that. You believe these
absolutely
Cheerios.
Nuts. There's people that listen to the blips. That's it.
And they listen to. And they watch mainstream media.
Yeah, but I mean, Saturday Night Live's fun though.
Not anymore.
Oh God, they are. I think they're doing a good job.
You think
this year.
So?
I think they're doing it both ways.
I like the guys that give the news. That's probably the funniest stuff they got.
God,
the news guys.
hilarious.
Yeah, when they tell the racist jokes back and forth, that right there is gold, man. I'm like, oh, that's pretty funny.
That's one of my favorites.
Yeah,
those guys
funny.
are funny.
Yeah,
as shit.
now they're funny.
No, but they honestly, I feel like are doing it. I think they're dogging both of them directly, and that's what your job is. As a comedian, you're supposed to make fun of the candidates. That's what you're. And I feel like they're doing a very good job at it.
I haven't really watched it.
I mean, Trump can be made fun of. I mean, dude, he went to McDonald's and fried French fries to troll somebody.
Right, he's brilliant.
That's hilarious.
I think you gotta love that guy for that.
That's hilarious.
He goes and buys a trash truck, puts on a vest, climbs up into the trash truck, plays the role, man.
Did you see him grabbing the handle? He did look drunk. They were making fun of him for that.
Well, I mean, it's a long way up.
No, he wasn't even up yet. Like, he went to grab the handle and he just like kind of missed. I don't know if he was nervous. I think he was nervous because he saw where the step was.
Yeah.
So as he's grabbing the handle, he just misses, dude, and he looks like he's drunk.
Poor guy.
Obviously, the man's never drank a day in his life, but
I mean, I don't think so.
He says he hasn't. He says that because of his brother or whatever was an alcoholic. He just has.
I always wonder how they turned that guy into a racist. Don't you find that odd?
That is real odd.
It's
especially
so strange
considering this is the same guy that was at Ellis Island receiving awards. It was like a medal, right? Wasn't it like a Medal of Honor from the NAACP or something?
Right.
Along with like...
I mean, he was friends with everyone until he was a politician.
He was with Muhammad Ali and...
and they love him.
Who was the other one? Was it Rosa Parks? Yeah, it was Rosa Parks, Muhammad Ali, and Donald Trump all got a medal. That's his company, and now he's racist? Get the hell out of here.
Like, how did you...
what?
Yeah.
He's been part of hip-hop culture, and I loved hip-hop culture growing up.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
he was always part of it.
Yeah. How long... I mean, and then how long has he been married? Do you know how long he's been married to?
I have no idea. I can't keep track. He's had like 3 wives, right?
Right, but the one he's with now, he's been with since his son Barron, right?
Yeah, he's 18, 19.
Right? So at least 18 years he's been with Melania.
Yeah.
And they keep trying to make him into like this unfaithful. Well, I mean, maybe he is. I don't know.
I would be.
Maybe.
I wouldn't know. I wouldn't want to know what I would be like with $6 billion. I really don't. I don't. I'm not saying I'd be evil.
That's
but
interesting
I'd
to hear you say.
Probably be wild. I'd give Justin Bieber a run for his money. Is all I'm saying.
Yeah.
I mean, if I'm super rich and
what would you do?
$6 billion. Well,
I don't think money.
The first thing I'm doing
money affects you like that.
If I can go hang out with I mean, because you're talking fame too. So it's not just $6 billion. So
it comes with power. Yeah.
It comes with like you got the fame of it. Like everybody knows.
Don't you think you'd do something really good with it, though?
What?
You don't think you'd do something really good with billions?
I mean, would I do something very good?
Yeah. What would it do to you? Would it make you better or make you worse? Like honestly, do you think
for sure
it would make you worse?
Oh, it'd make me worse. Would I do some good things with it? Sure. I do good things with the money I got now, but I do dumb shit too. So I mean,
I don't know.
I mean,
I just don't. Money doesn't seem to be. Money doesn't move me. I'm like, eh.
It's not the money. It's not the money. It has nothing to do with the money, the actual money. It's just the. I mean, now all of a sudden Jennifer Love Hewitt is a possibility. You know what I mean? This is a real possibility. What kind of person am I going to be?
All right, we need to chill. We just no, that's not where I wanted to go.
At least go hang out, right? Oh. Or Jessica Alba. Have you seen Into the Blue? Come on now.
Into the Blue?
You haven't seen that movie?
I don't think so.
Don't do it. Don't watch it.
Don't watch it?
No, you won't be Christian at the end of that movie.
Oh, my goodness. All right.
She's beautiful.
Clearly we know where your bias is.
Those two women are absolutely beautiful. They are. They're absolutely gorgeous. And I'm just being a funny guy.
Yes.
But the truth of the matter is that with $6 billion, like the old saying goes, like Tiger Woods cheated on his wife how many times?
I don't know.
I forget how many.
One was too many. But
okay,
yes.
But let's say say it was 100.
Okay.
Okay. He cheated on his wife 100 times. Okay, and you, right? You. Well, not you. You're a bad example. Let me think of somebody else.
Yes.
I don't know. Somebody random, some random guy, some random ugly guy that comes around that you know. I don't know who he is, and we don't want to put him out there like that.
For the ugly guy. Thank you.
I didn't. No,
Thank you for that grace.
But my point is that he didn't cheat on his wife. Okay. He had 0 opportunities, maybe 2, to cheat on his wife.
Okay.
Tiger Woods had 15 million opportunities to cheat on his wife, and he only did it like 100 times. I mean, odds-wise, he's running good numbers.
You're saying he's better than the other guy.
He might be. I mean, if that guy had 2 opportunities, did 1, he's at 50%. He's over here batting 3. You know what I'm saying? I think that's all I'm saying. I mean, if the odds are there, right? I mean, what I'm saying is it doesn't matter if you did something good if you weren't tested. Do you see what I'm saying?
Definitely.
It's easy to be good if you weren't tested, if it wasn't an option. So what I'm saying is what $6 billion would buy me in options, then now I'm tested constantly. My whole life I'd be tested 24/7.
Yes.
How do you handle that?
It would be the test of what the Bible tells us clearly. This is the greatest test of a man's heart. It says the love of money is the root of all evil. Not money, the love of it.
And it's not even the money. I guess I'm not saying that.
It's what comes with the money. It comes the influence, the power, all the status, the ego is boosted. It's the love, but the love of money creates that evil in the world, and so it really reveals what's in your heart. Money really reveals what's in your heart.
If you got a box of Twinkies, a box of Ho-Hos, and a box of Wing-Zings or whatever. What are those little ones? Suzy Q's. So you got 3 boxes of those, whatever. They're in your house or whatever. And
get them out.
And you didn't need any of them. You did something. Yeah. But if you didn't need any and you never had any in your house, then all of a sudden you haven't been tested. Is all I'm saying. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay.
That's all I'm saying. Like, you know, Tiger Woods was like, he was probably smacking away women. Like, I mean, just.
So what you're saying is, if Donald Trump cheated a few times, it's cool because he had all that.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying he's a better man than you give him credit for. If he did it a few
times, right?
Yeah, if he swatted away 700,000 of them.
Interesting.
I mean, Jesus, crimey. At some point you give in, don't you? At some point she just said something stupid in the morning, and
you were
this
just
girl
like,
came along. You know what I mean? Like,
wow.
And it's just like, you know what? Yeah, come here. Right? I mean, no, I'm wrong.
No, that's not right.
That's not how it works?
No. All
right.
Well, that just reveals
Maybe
what's in there.
Me.
It just reveals what's in there. You know what I mean?
I'm just saying, I give him credit. I think that deserves a little bit of credit. I mean,
I don't know. I just was wondering.
I mean, do you think that there's any, but like, does Chris Christie have the opportunities that, are women throwing themselves at Chris Christie?
I don't know, man.
No, they're not. I promise. It's not happening.
No?
It's just not happening. No, it's not happening. That's just not happening.
All right.
So, I mean,
yeah, I see what you're saying.
So for Chris Christie to sit there and go, I'm loyal to my wife. Oh, good. Nobody fucking wants you. So what does it matter?
Yeah.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
I mean,
so
and by the way, there isn't any out there that are saying that Trump cheated on his wife. That's not like popping up everywhere.
Isn't it? I thought that was one of their main reasons.
There's the one woman
people come
that
after
he settled
Trump.
out of court with. The porn
and I'm not
star.
a Trump. Like ideally, ideologically speaking, I don't support.
He settled out of
I just
court.
feel like he's the best candidate to run the country.
He settled out of court and has emphatically, constantly, always denied that anything happened with Stormy Daniels. He's always denied that. Okay. Now, whether it did or didn't, I don't know. But he's always denied it.
Just to me, I'm fascinated with the narrative they place around his life because to me he seems like a homebody. He just seems like a man that
he's a good grandpa.
Loves
he
his
does a lot of
kids.
time,
Loves his. It just. And compared to the person he used to be.
You want to know the measurement of a man is to look at his children.
Yes.
And if you look at his kids, that's 100% good man.
Really wholesome.
All of them.
I don't understand how you could look at him and try to demonize that.
He calls Don Jr. wild. He goes, he's a little wild, but he's not. Like, what is it, because he has a couple beers maybe or something? I don't know what it is.
Yeah, they seem very moral.
Yeah.
I don't, so I'm really confused when I hear people.
He grew up in, like Don Jr., you know him and like Eric.
I wonder what's in your comments right now. Like, is anybody saying anything?
It's just Crystal on there right now. And she's just like.
I'm wondering, like, because I want to hear why people say these things.
Well, they're not going to know. Nobody knows why they say it, because nobody's there to question it, and they just want to put enough of it in the back of your head. It's like JD said yesterday when he was in here. He said, I'm going to be exonerated from everything they're charging me with. Mm-hmm. But they know if they charge me right now, it's all over the news at election time, and then it'll be gone by after the election's over.
We definitely got to do better.
I don't
as a country,
that. I think that
this is not the way to elect.
They're not doing
officials.
enough with slander. I think slander should be like I'm a free speech kind of guy.
You're not if you just what do you want to do?
Slander has to be controlled. Like that's always been against the law.
How are you going to control it?
Well, you don't control it, but you charge people. You start messing with their pocketbooks, all of a sudden people don't want to just say whatever. You know, I mean, if it's going to cost you an arm and a leg to tell a lie.
If they're subjective statements, though, it's not like, I'm not saying you're a rapist or you're.
There's flat out lies. There's flat out lies.
But you can say somebody has poor character. That's not slander.
But they're not doing that.
Somebody's
they're
a liar.
Actually lying about him. They're actually telling lies on him. They're actually saying he said things he did not say. Like
how do you prove that though?
Well, they're recorded. Most of them are recorded. I mean, most of it's, for instance, they said that he said that you should line Liz Cheney up and shoot her. That's slander.
Oh, okay.
He didn't.
We're talking about Trump now. Okay, I thought we were talking about Thomas, but okay.
Well, yeah, JD's that's a possibility. I mean, for somebody to bring him up on charges, there's not a lot you could do about that. Because if they believe they're charged, I mean, that's one of those, that's a whole different story. I'm talking about you said we shouldn't elect this way. I'm talking about Trump. They lie on him. They're flat out lying on him. And they're saying he said line up Liz Cheney and put a firing squad.
Yeah, that's totally.
To me, that's slander. Like that should, to me, fall under like a lawsuit. I really believe that. I don't see how it can't. Like at what point, what do you have to say for it to be slander? Because slander is against the law.
Well, the misinformation, the idea of presenting misinformation is really scary, because like anything can be labeled misinformation initially until but then you're tried and.
But you could sue somebody for slander and it's not stopped. It's not labeled misinformation. I'm not saying go and audit and make somebody the police all over the webs. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying file a lawsuit for slander when they tell a lie. Yeah. So that they don't keep doing it. Because when it comes out of their pocket, then they'll stop doing it, I would think.
Regardless of who wins the election tonight, we got to figure a better way out of. I had this idea. It's crazy.
Let's hear it. I want to hear it. Now I'm excited.
I had this idea that we should take turns each year. Republican one year, Democrat the next, right? So it doesn't matter. We're going to have two options for the Republican year of being a party, right? Of being the president.
So what would happen at you run Church of the North Coast right now, right?
Yeah.
What if you ran it this year and I ran it next year? And then you run it the following year.
Well, that would be destructive. But
and that's the same thing.
But wait! You didn't let me finish the thought. You didn't let me finish the thought. Because what would happen then? Okay, so I don't necessarily align myself with the ideology of the left or the Democrats. But what would happen is if it were 2025 and we had to elect a president that had to be a Democrat, then what we would have is the Democrat Party would have to present two different versions of Democrats that appeal to both sides of the nation or to the general population of the nation. So you wouldn't get this extreme on this side and extreme on this side. You get somebody in the middle a little bit more. So they wouldn't want to kill the child,
They'd get a liar. You just get a liar. You just get somebody who said they're a Democrat and they're not. There'd be a rhino.
Well, there goes the hope of the world. I mean, just flat out.
Guido's actually idea is better, but
okay, what's his idea? Let's go.
His idea is that the president, the presidential candidate that doesn't get elected when you're in the two-party system is the VP.
That is not a bad idea.
It's a horrible idea. But it's better than yours. It's not a good idea.
I think mine's better.
Because they'll assassinate him is what will happen. The people that want their the people
you hear what
that
you're saying.
Well, yeah, because
our government will assassinate
not
people.
Not the government, but somebody would. So right now, Kamala and Trump are running, and if we did what he says and say Trump wins, or just say Kamala wins. Kamala wins. Now Trump's her VP. Okay.
Okay.
You want Trump to be the president, and you're a freaking extremist. You assassinate Kamala.
I just saw that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, that's why it's a.
So mine is better because at least you get two Republican candidates that have to appeal to your Democrat vote. They have to become more like a Democrat to earn your vote.
No, because the whole country votes regardless.
Right. So if you're looking for a candidate, you have to appeal to the whole country, not just a third or a half. You have to appeal to everyone.
I'm going to give you my unpopular opinion.
Okay, let's give
my unpopular opinion is that President Xi should be 8 years. That's my unpopular opinion, but that's my opinion.
The president
should be an 8-year term.
Should be an 8-year term.
Mm-hmm.
And you believe that would be most effective
because... It would be more effective in the world. We're so involved in the world that the world doesn't know what to do with the United States because you never know what's going to happen.
I agree with that.
4 years after,
That's brilliant, Jim. I agree with that. I mean, I think you're right. I think that...
8 years is... when a president gets elected for 2 terms, it usually is the most stable that the country is, regardless of who it is, whether it was Obama, whether it was Bush. It's the one that we were the most stable, in my opinion, growing up, what I've seen. And it's because that 8-year term, I think, makes a big difference. It keeps.
I'm struggling with the idea that if it weren't so corrupt, it would be a good idea.
Well, I don't disagree.
But now it's so corrupt because of the military-industrial complex, and everybody that's involved in the government is becoming a billionaire. That's the question we should ask ourselves. Why is everyone that goes into the government...
What we should be asking ourselves is why are people campaigning $300 million for $170,000?
Exactly. Why? How do they raise that much money to secure the position?
They're doing
can't raise that money to give back to the people they serve.
Yeah,
like how in the world is this? Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
None. No, there's $300 million.
And why are we fighting with each other?
I don't know that.
Shouldn't we be like?
Although I talked about that too. I went trick or treating, and you know what? There was Harris signs, Trump signs, and everybody was nice. Everybody got along. Nobody talked politics. They were just, hi, how you doing? Happy Halloween, trick or treat. It was wonderful. It was nice. There was no politics that night, and I enjoyed it. I really did. Even though I seen the signs, you know what I mean? And I kind of questioned, coming into it. And the first couple that had the signs, I was like, oh, they were nice. And all of a sudden, I enjoyed my evening.
They assume you think like them.
I doubt it. I think I scream Republican as I'm walking around. I think everybody just knows that about me.
I just got an ad to vote for Trump.
Did you?
Yeah.
Dude, he texted me that too.
Let's get him like every 15
That was a funny
minutes.
one. Yeah, me too. Kamala apparently is doing the same thing. Like she has that same thing, like the texts that are going out. Yeah. So on Saturday Night Live, she goes, hold on, I got to send a text, like in the middle of whatever they're doing.
Great.
And then he's like, wait, those are actually from you? She's like, yeah, it says this is Kamala, and she starts typing.
That's fantastic.
It was pretty good. It was funny, And then Doug, her husband, who was in the skit with her, and he goes, "Can I get off that list?" She goes, "No,
no, you got to stay on." I wonder. I woke up to my wife reading me a text from a post from somebody, because I'm not on social that much anymore. I just go on the post and everything. She read me something from somebody that posted it. It was something in the likes of this. It said, if you vote for Trump, then I don't want to be your friend ever.
It's horrible.
Right?
I lost a friend the first election.
I lost so many friends.
The first one.
I lost so many friends.
Yeah, the first one.
And not even because I lost so many friends because
I still consider him a friend. I shouldn't say I lost.
I'm with you. I'm with you. I don't throw anybody in the trash.
We don't talk anymore.
Yeah. Well, it's hard for me. I feel conflicted with that. Don't you though? To some degree, like if you see people that break off a friendship with you because of political perspectives, isn't there a part of you that says, I can't really trust you ever again?
No.
No?
I don't trust people that much. So
I don't either. I'm
not.
Same.
Nobody has that much trust from me.
Same.
So it doesn't much matter. There's nobody that broke off from me that has any trust in me. I don't have that. I don't have that with anybody. I don't trust you. I don't trust anyone. That's how I am, dude. I don't trust. I just who I am.
I feel that.
I can't help myself.
Maybe we can get to that cynicism in a later podcast. Everybody, we'll come back to that reason why me and Jim have trust issues.
No, it's not you.
I literally have a sign in my garage. I have a sign posted in my garage. Jesus and my wife are cool. Everybody else, keep your hands where I can see them.
Yeah.
Literally, it is a sign on my garage as you walk in.
Yeah.
So I don't trust anybody either.
I agree.
But I'm just saying, like, it's really difficult for me to even, I remove myself from circles, and it's, and I'm like, nope. I was on a radio show before here.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah,
I remember that.
And because of ideological, perspectives, I'm like, oh no, I can't.
Yeah, and
I think
Mark
for me,
is somebody that I like a lot. I mean, I've always liked him. Me and him actually were supposed to start a business together one time. It was called MJS Interiors, and Scotty was involved in getting the two of us connected, and it never took off because it was just basically they wanted to be part of me starting up a interiors company, which I can do on my own. I don't need them. You know what I mean? So that's why it never went off the ground. But I mean, I got to know him during that time a little bit, but he's not. He's a good dude. He's a good person at heart, I think. His political views are. I think that they're. I feel like he feels because it's a race thing. I think that he feels that he has to go along with that because of the race.
I think that's diabolical, and I think it's cowardly, and I think nobody should ever do that.
I agree with you 100%.
If you allow that confusion,
him for that. For him to be confused doesn't mean that.
No.
For that,
you listen.
He's a gentleman every time.
If you confess Christ, then I cannot see a reason why you would be confused.
I would argue because
the political ideology.
There was a lot of slaves that were in those slave quarters that believed in Jesus and accepted Christ.
That's fine. Yeah, of course.
But they didn't probably care for their slave masters and stuff.
You don't believe? Okay, so what you're suggesting then is that it's justified for there to be a particular mindset, ideology because of a demographic.
No,
so it's permissible for your ethnicity to be associated with your ideology.
I'm saying that it's okay to be flexible, is what I'm saying.
Flexible.
What
does that even mean?
I mean, there's circumstances. He's confused. That's all. He doesn't understand.
The gospel clarifies all of that. The gospel brings extreme clarity to all of that.
In your opinion, but he doesn't.
There's no opinion. That's what the Bible says. There is neither Jew nor Gentile in Christ. We are all in Christ. There's neither left nor right nor up, down. There's no donkey. There's no elephant. There's only Christ. There's no confusion there. There's no confusing it. You cannot be this or that and that. You can only be a believer in Christ. I don't profess to be one or the other in this world. That's not my profession. But
I didn't live his life. I don't know what he dealt with. I mean, and he's an older guy.
We can remove the names from it. I'm using that as a way of saying
he's an older gentleman that he's lived a life very different than me and you did. Regardless of what happens, we don't know what that was like for him as a kid. Now,
I don't.
I get upset with guys like and I'll put his name out there, Calvin. You know what I mean? That we grew up with. We loved Calvin to death. He was a good friend. We were good to him, just as like we were with Marlon. But for some reason, Calvin feels like white people hate him, and it's like I don't understand how he could think that after we loved him so much. I don't understand that to me. Now, I don't know what Mark's growing up was either, but I don't know that. And I don't fault anybody for where they become, what led them to where they're at and how they can, because I don't trust anybody either. So if he doesn't trust people based on their skin color, that's on him.
If we're in a relationship, then how can you trust that more than you do the person in front of you? Now there are levels of trust.
No,
there are certain people that I trust less than or more than other people. So if I'm in a relationship with you, I'll leave you in the room with a stack of money.
I feel like with certain people, there's people that would trust, like not trust. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying like if. And I guess we'll go with Mark. I guess again. I mean, I trust that Mark is never gonna do anything to put me in a negative light. I don't think he would do that. I don't believe so. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm right about that. I mean, that's how.
Well, I wanted to believe all of those things as well about certain individuals, but then the political ideologies of this world separated. It brought separation. I'm like, wait a minute. You don't even know those people. You know me. I'm like I talk to you almost every other day.
Situation, right. What happened. I'm not saying I do.
It's a garden variety situation. I'm not using that as particular. I just meant to say, like, I was there, but because of the political circumstance, I'm like, oh, I can't do that. I can't align myself with that mentality when I believe it opposes what I believe most deeply in my spirit. Like I just can't understand how, we can profess the same Christ and not. But I'm okay. Not see
but here's my problem. Okay, if I go into a situation with two different people, two separate people, and I don't care what color they are or whatever they are, but maybe they care what color they are, and we're right there with this. And I'm sure Mark doesn't mind me using his name, but if I use him and Tony DeMacchia, okay, there's two people that work in the school district, and they're you know what I mean. I think Mark, even with the fact that he maybe feels certain ways about race, I think is a better person than Tony
I don't know
DeMacchia.
How any of these people believe or feel. You know what I mean? I just felt the distance and the separation with a lot of people that I thought were really close friends of mine at the beginning of that election cycle. Yeah. And then suddenly, like, they just fell off.
Mine was actually like, a white guy.
Really? This is interesting.
Off. Mine was a white guy that fell off.
And they fell off for reasons that I could only attribute to political ideology. So I'm like, oh, we're not cool anymore because you think that way. And
I think that you just used it. I think you're. To me, I talk to him about basketball, or baseball, or the school board. I just won't have other political conversations with them, I guess, is how I handle someone like that. I don't cut them out. I just have a different conversation with them.
I'm not cutting. I didn't cut any. Well, that's not true.
You just said you did.
I just was like, oh, okay, well, then that's that. If we can't align ourselves.
But I don't think that everybody's racist, but they certainly.
Oh, I didn't call everybody racist.
No, I get that, but I did. I said that I felt like in his situation that sometimes he's guided by his race. He feels like he's got to go with his race. I feel like, but that might not be true because it might just be because he's on the school board and he's friends with DeMacchia and they do the whole left side and. That's just what they do. That's the politics of Lorraine. You know what I mean? Is the left.
Yeah, I just never understood. I couldn't comprehend that.
I feel like the left is going to die out, though. I think that they've killed themselves. This election, I think they've killed themselves. Even if Harris does win,
you think
Harris had to come in saying very conservative things. She wasn't saying the things she said trying to go up against Biden.
And don't you think that's even more terrifying, that she's saying something even though she doesn't believe it?
Regardless, that event, that shows you what the America wants. That shows you where America's leaning. That shows you that they're not gonna accept that.
It doesn't mean that just because she says it doesn't mean that she's going to adhere to it. She'll change.
I'm not saying she is, but Americans are voting that way and they know it. They know it.
Well, if they're voting that way, they're certainly not voting for her.
I mean, Bill Clinton, when he was in office, was what you would call a Democrat back then. And today, Bill Clinton would be a Trump. guy. I mean, 100%. His policies would align exactly with Trump's.
They all back then. I mean, you hear recordings of back then. They all said
it's exactly
marriage was between a man and a woman. You can go back and pull clips from Obama saying it.
Yes,
but not today.
But the left
today, a girl's a boy, a boy's a girl. Left is right, right's left, up's down.
They wouldn't do that.
It's so confusing.
Yeah, and they wouldn't do that. And that's the problem, is that they went too far with whatever they're doing, and they did it almost in an because Trump shook things up. Trump came into the Republican Party, and he's not a Republican, period. He's just not. He was never a Republican.
Well, not according to what they call him.
He's still not
defined
a Republican.
Them as.
Like a Republican has been defined for years. It's a Reagan kind of set the standard for what a Republican was. You know what I mean? He kind of was the conservative.
Free market.
That's what a Republican started to come from. And that's where at least in my lifetime, he set the standard. Trump is not that. I mean, the markets, yes, he is. But
you don't think he's conservative?
No, I think that socially he's very liberal.
I think so.
I know so. I mean, I mean, 100%. Yeah, you wouldn't agree with most things that he says. I mean, with society. Well, I mean before he was even elected, he said that,
I find his policies to be very...
Gay men and gay women, that's their business. That's why we have menus at a restaurant. You do not agree with that?
I would agree that is their business. It is the free will of every mankind to do whatever they want.
But
just leave me alone, and I will leave you alone.
That's not the old school conservative view of it.
You asked me what marriage consists of. I'll tell you, it consists of a man and a woman.
This was about marriage, though. This is what it was talking about.
So, yeah, but
this is what it was talking about. So, I mean, that is a very liberal thought. That's a liberal idea. When it comes to abortions, he thinks that, abortion...
It's the right of the state.
It's the right of the state to determine, and that's a wonderful idea, and I love that.
A brilliant thing for a politician to say.
But he personally doesn't believe in abortion. He just doesn't. But he isn't trying to stop anybody else. Well, he said it. He said I wouldn't choose it.
Then he's a conservative.
Yeah, he's a conservative. But liberal in almost every idea. He doesn't believe in no abortion. Oh, well. Like, that's the conservative idea is no abortion, period. No reason. That's the conservative idea. He does not believe that.
Yeah, immigration.
Immigration on a conservative market. Bush said it best. We need illegals to do the jobs Americans don't want to do. That was the conservative stance. It was Bill Clinton that was like, we got to put up a wall and keep these Mexicans out. It was Bill Clinton.
Okay, but nobody... I feel like it wasn't until the last 4 years that we said...
You tell me, why are unions supporting a candidate that says open the borders? Give my jobs away. That's what I'm wondering. They never did. That's why you're seeing all the unions and labor jump. That's why they're jumping ship. That's the reason. Because they did it because Trump come in the Republican ticket and shook it up and started just doing whatever he thought made sense. And a lot of it is conservative financially and liberal on a a stance. It's how it is. That's what he is.
But wouldn't immigration
just to be against them, they started calling him racist because he doesn't want Mexicans in the country.
Well, maybe he wants immigration to be a process where you come into the country and you're vetted and you come through the front door rather than just running through the...
I don't believe that. I mean, he's a contractor, developer.
You don't believe he wants legal immigration?
He wants his drywall going up at 90 cents a foot. But he doesn't want all these people coming through using Mexico to hurt us.
Don't you believe that the Democratic Party did that intentionally? They opened the borders like that intentionally?
I think that they honestly
took them to
I don't even
swing
think so.
states?
I think they did it just because it was anti-Trump. It was against Trump.
You don't think they had an agenda?
He forced their hand. No, I think that he forced their hand.
Do you think most Americans think they have an agenda?
I believe a lot of people do. But again, I don't believe that people ever are like doing things just to be pure evil. I don't believe that to be true. Now, I do believe that they think that after they had to take another stance because Trump took their stance, essentially, they'd have to take that stance. They tried to see where they could use it to their advantage. And yes, voting would probably be where they could use it to their advantage. But I think at the grand scheme of things, Trump walked in and was like, wait a minute, that's our platform. What are you doing? when it comes to that. I mean,
to immigration?
Bush said it. We need Mexicans to do the jobs Americans don't want to do. He said it himself.
Yes, but we need
legal.
We need legal immigration.
No, he didn't. That's not what
I'm not saying he said it. I'm just saying, don't you think that is what?
No, that's not doing the jobs because as soon as a Mexican is legal, he's not working for frickin' pennies no more. He wants a paycheck. As soon as he's legal, you got to pay him.
Right.
So it doesn't matter who we pay to do the job if we're paying him enough.
So what you're saying is you think Democrats want illegal immigrants to be here so they could exploit the labor? That's
what Republicans wanted originally. That's what they wanted.
Well,
that's our housekeepers. That's who was picking our lettuce and our tomatoes. Who was hanging our drywall and still are.
I was hanging drywall. I must have been an illegal.
Yeah, but you weren't hanging it for what they are.
No, I wasn't.
I mean, these guys are hanging.
Okay.
I'm talking hanging. Like that Mexicans have come in. My sister, where she lives in South Carolina, the whole development, you're buying houses at $90 a square foot. Here we're $150 and up. Okay, in South Carolina, she's got a 4,000 square foot house she bought for $390. And while I was out there visiting her when she first bought the house, the whole development, the electricians were Mexican. Nobody spoke English. There's no chance any of them are getting paychecks. I promise you. That's all cash under the table.
All under the table.
Yeah, and that's why it's cheaper, because you're paying cash and it's under the table. And that's what people want.
Are you opposed to that?
Am I opposed to what?
Illegal immigration.
Yes, 150 million %.
You think they should be?
Bush pissed me off when he said it.
So that you.
That's how I know he said it. I heard it, and I was like, "This motherfucker." I was like, "I'm a union carpenter. I want to hang drywall for $25 an hour, dude. Right. What are you talking about?"
So I'm confused by the union guys too.
That doesn't make sense.
I'm so confused.
It's illogical.
Right. So that's why I'm confused by the union guys always supporting the Democrat Party.
Doesn't make sense.
Even though the Democrat Party seems to be stabbing them in the back.
They didn't used to, though. Clinton was about it. No immigration, all that stuff. He was there looking out.
So how did I drove by the UAW over there, and there's a Harris thing right out front,
Always
and I'm like,
Democrat.
How in the world? How are you?
But they're leaning now. Like Teamsters, I think supported. Was it Teamsters supported Trump?
And I don't think they supported him. I just think they didn't support Democrats, so they took that as an endorsement for the other
side. Because they said 60% of their members were voting, and the carpenters and stuff I know are all.
So then, how does she stand a chance? If the unions won't vote for her,
I don't think she does, honestly.
Okay, yeah.
I really don't think she does. But I'm scared because I seen the signs.
Them signs got you worked up.
Because I remember I started that conversation earlier on. So Jay said to me, he was laughing at me because I said Trump was going to win in 2016.
Yeah.
I go, dude, I don't see one sign for Clinton anywhere. I see Trump signs everywhere. This doesn't make it. How can you possibly think that we're going to vote in? And I'm in Lorain County. Like, if there should be any Clinton signs, they should be here.
Yeah.
And I didn't see any. I saw one, I think, the whole time Clinton was around. I saw one sign. I see a lot of Harris signs. I see almost as much as Trump signs right now, this minute, today.
Not where I live.
No, well, I'm saying today. Well, not where I live either. But when I drove down the street to the election board, I seen quite a few. And then I took a different route heading here, and I went, oh, shit, that's a lot of signs. And then the roads I don't usually take, but I see them. I go, there's a lot more than I thought. You know what I mean? So I'm like, it's a little nerve wracking to me. That makes me nervous because I did not expect that. That threw me for a loop when I saw it. I mean, I seen a couple by me, you know what I mean? But that was it. I didn't know that there was that many. There was quite a bit.
Do you think the signs? You think they're there because there's just.
If I saw 20 signs, that's more people than I would expect to vote for Harris.
Yeah.
That's how I feel.
I know. Every time I see one, I'm like,
sense.
What's wrong with them? You know what I mean? There's like a couple people in my neighborhood. I'm like, you guys okay?
Yeah.
Like, what's going on? Like,
you guys need to see a doctor, therapist?
Yeah. Like,
some medication?
You have an identity crisis going on?
Some ayahuasca? What do you feel about ayahuasca?
I don't even know what that is.
I'm curious.
What is it?
It's like psychedelics.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just curious what you think of it. I don't know.
I don't.
It's my mom did it. She's a hippie though.
Is it like a rehabilitation.
You drink it.
That's
it's kind of it's a spiritual thing, but it's definitely like you trip your ass off. Like it's like acid. Some sort of, I don't know. I don't 100% know.
Yeah.
But it's different. They do it like she goes there. She had to get a medical card to do it. She went to Kentucky, and there's a group, and it's pretty popular. After she did it, I had never heard of it when she did it. You know, it's kind of a beatnik. Like she knows all that stuff. Like gets into it or whatever. So I go. She takes it or whatever, and I'm like, this is just weird. And she's explaining it to me. And they basically drink it, and then she said, you sit there in front of a bucket and puke.
Then why would you drink it?
That's what I said. But she said after you puke, she said when you puke, she said it's wonderful. She said you're just getting all the like hate and anger and bad feelings and all this stuff, anything and resentments and all this stuff.
Man, you can come to church with me this Sunday. You can get all that minus the puke.
She says it's wonderful. But the thing is I believe her.
Because
she's
it's
a different person afterwards.
It's the part of the brain that
you're not doing it to party. You're not doing it to party.
No.
She's there in a group. She's puked it up, and then they hang out, and then she comes home, and she's just a different person.
I think you can just get that. You can go straight to the source of Jesus, and you don't have to trip yourself to do it.
Well, I mean, they're drinking a natural substance. God put it there.
Yeah. I mean, so is apples. I mean, you can make moonshine from it. You know what I mean?
But they're not making anything. This is just pure. It's what it is.
So is marijuana.
Yeah, and I don't agree.
So is opium.
I'm okay with marijuana. I'm all right. I've never been against marijuana. I wouldn't do it, but I haven't been against it. So.
You don't think it's an entry level?
I do believe that 100%. Yeah. But I don't believe that it's as its main thing. I wouldn't. I don't want people smoking around here. I don't want my kids to do it. But I don't.
It's like you said, substance abuse, anything to extremes is just not good for you.
There you go.
Yeah, it's really
go. That's it.
It's really
there you
bad.
go.
It's really bad.
It's.
I mean, I used to, mess around.
I never did much. I never really did. I did a little bit, but not a bunch.
I drank a lot.
I didn't drink a ton. I've never did any of that a lot. I mean, a little.
Well, when I say a lot, I mean on the weekends. But then, smoked a little weed, and that freaked me out. Like, I didn't like that feeling.
Of being, me neither. That's how I.
Out
it's
of
always
control.
made me like
I was paranoid. Like, I'm like, what?
Paranoid is what I was. I was paranoid and sleepy.
Yeah,
I would I would smoke pot, and then I would just want to. I would try to eat the buzz away, and when that didn't happen, I just wanted to go to sleep. Just let me go to sleep so this is over. I want this to be over right now. That's kind of how I felt about it. So I never did like any of it too much.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just wondered how you thought about that. I mean, she used it. I'm just curious what you thought. I didn't.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's not.
I don't know. I mean, acid, I think would be just it's a pretend.
But
euphoria.
It's not acid. It's not acid by any.
Or any mind
I don't
control.
know what it is.
Any mind control. Well, it would be considered a pharmaceutical to some degree, and that word in the Greek, pharmakia, it means. What does it mean in pharmakia? It's some. I'll think of it in a minute, but that word. Pharmakia.
So what about Prozac?
Is demonic.
What
it's
about
basically
Prozac?
Demonic.
You feel the same way about Prozac?
I don't even know what Prozac is.
How can you not know what Prozac is?
Because I've never taken it. So
I get it, but dude, it was a whole thing when we were like 20. It's a whole country kind of went on Prozac. You don't remember that? It's like an antidepressant.
No, it's pharmakia. Yeah, sorcery. Yeah, it's demonic. Yeah.
All of it, yeah.
All of it. Any mind control is demonic. Yeah, there's you're opening realms.
I don't think it's healthy for anybody.
No, you're opening realms into the dark places of.
But lots of
the
people in this
realm.
country are taking it. A lot of people in the world are taking it, but this country specifically.
And depression's never been higher.
Yeah, I liked what Trump said. Did you hear what he said?
I didn't hear it. No.
You didn't hear it? He said it yesterday. Yeah. He said, if you're depressed, work your ass off. I promise it'll go away.
Oh, that's the truth.
It's true.
That's the truth, man.
100%.
Everyone needs a meaningful burden.
Yeah.
Literally, if you involve yourself, I try to tell people that a lot of that are uninspired in the world and who are feeling like nihilism, feeling meaningless. I'll tell them that. I'll say, look, you have to find a meaningful burden and you have to attack it with all your life. You have to go at it. Go find something worth giving your life to and just go. Just go as hard as you can. I don't care if it's selling strawberries or whatever it is, just go for it. And yeah, a meaningful burden would solve a lot of problems for a lot of people.
Because Reagan said that too. The best social program you can have is a job.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah. I agree with that.
100%.
I remember when I was young, and I was, when you're young, I never really hated work. I just didn't know. I was just like looking for work that was meaningful. And I remember like when I would be out of work and not working, which was rare. I mean, I was basically working since I was 15. I think both of us were. And not like sissy jobs. We were going,
I was
hanging drywall, stuff, pulling plywood up on so that's the stuff I was doing. But the times that in my life where I felt the least inspired, the least worth, are the times where I was in between work and just kind of just sitting around, just waiting for the.
You could see how you could get depressed.
I hated it. I hated that feeling. And as long as I was getting up, going to work, no matter how meaningless it was, just getting up and going.
Retire and that happens. You see it like it's just like.
That's why I don't believe in retirement. I think retirement's a made up construct in America. From the Matrix. I think the Matrix does that. Oh, it is. It's man-made. It's in Matrix. It's never in the Bible. On the day that Moses died, he climbed a mountain. He never stopped. No, sir. What killed him? no, sir. What killed him was it was it. It was the end of his life, and what I mean was like he didn't stop climbing mountains because he got old. He just kept climbing them until he died. And I think that's a philosophy that will bring meaning to a lot of life.
I think retirement is a real thing that should exist for everybody for working for someone else. I believe at a certain age you should only work for yourself.
Well, I like that. But think of it like this. You really don't figure anything out until what? What age? What age do you think like the lights came on, wires started touching in your head?
I'll let you know.
Okay, so I'm going to say that age for me came around 27. 27, the lights turned on. I'm like, oh, okay. I think I can think a little better, And so it wasn't until about 25 to 20. I'll give you 25. So 25 lights turn on. So you're not doing anything until 25. 25 lights come on. You start doing stuff. You start actually, working. I
feel like you're like a dog chasing a car until you're 25.
Right.
I feel like that's who you are.
So life's not. You're just kind of figuring things out. But at 25, 27. For guys, for ladies, it's a little sooner, and then okay. So now you start building something. You start figuring some things out. You start having some children. Did you just say
there's a difference between women and men?
There is definitely a difference.
Are you allowed to say that?
I'll probably be canceled, but there's definitely a difference. They have vaginas. We have penises. You know what I mean? That's base level.
All I
wanted
out of that was to have a preacher say vagina.
That's it. There we go. I said it. So at 25 you work and then so you're saying we're going to work. So the whole retirement idea is we work from like 25 to what's the retirement age now?
65, I think.
65. Oh my gosh. So we're going to work from 25 to 65. And then we're just going to call it a day and we're going to hang it up no matter what we're doing.
My job when I was 20. The union's carpenters.
20.
20.
So you keep going, you keep going, and so what the world, this idea that's being sold to us by the Matrix is, you get to a certain place, and now they want you to work until until it's over because they don't want you not working because you're not contributing. But you get to that 65-year-old, and you okay, let's go down to Florida, get a condo, and drift off into whatever. But you think about like if you live, you consider like what. You gave up. You got 25 years, the first 25 years, nothing. That middle part, what, 40 years? 25? 40 years? Take 35 years. So 35 years, you're doing something. And then you take the last 20, if you live.
Hopefully.
So you take the last 20 to 30 on average. Let's just say you take the last 30 years of your life and do what? Think about what you could do now. With that last 10, 20, 30 years of your life.
Just for yourself.
Right. But think about the wisdom you have now, the experience you have now, and you're telling me you want me to just go somewhere and sit on a beach somewhere, ride around a boat for the next 20, 30 years? I'm telling you that last 10, 20, 30 years of your life, that's where you build up the actual like rich part of your life. That's where you become wealthy. That's where you create generational wealth. That's where you transfer wealth. That's where you actually build something that your children can inherit, as long as you don't stop. But society's telling a good portion of our senior community to stop, and for the most part, they are. They're checking out.
What about the argument that wealth builds weak men and weak men build strong men, and strong men build weak men?
Yeah.
What about that?
It's a real argument. It's a real discussion to have. But the first generation builds it. The second generation traditionally protects it. It protects it. It defends it.
Okay.
The second generation normally defends it. It's like, no, don't touch what Dad built.
I don't know
let's
nothing
protect
about being rich.
I don't either. But here's what they say: first generation builds it. Second generation defends it. Third generation feels entitled to it. That's when it falls apart. Entitlement destroys everything. Entitlement to the family business, entitlement to what, the gift that God's given you. Entitlement ruins it. So what each generation must do then is build upon what the first generation built.
Well,
you got to take some pride in what you're building.
Look at Fred Trump.
Right.
Donald Trump. Now Eric and Donald Jr. and Barron, like they're amazing kids. Like I hope to God nothing ever happens where they're in the news doing crazy shit, but it doesn't seem like they ever would be. Honestly, it just doesn't. They just seem like really good kids.
They seem solid.
It looks like he did a hell of a job raising his kids.
I agree, and I don't understand the criticism that coming to him. However, you look at the other side, it's really bad. I mean, their kids are just
and we're
up.
talking about somebody, Donald Trump, and their neighbor was Michael Jackson, so they spent their childhood playing with Michael Jackson video games. True story.
Right. Well,
that's a true story.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he lived in the building and they literally were at Michael Jackson's house playing all the time, video games with Michael Jackson. Which
so what
is
I'm trying to
quite amazing.
What I'm trying to teach my kids to do now is, all right, I'm going to build something as strong as I can. I'm going to do the best I can to build something that's really solid for you. Now, what I need you to do is complement what I just did. I need
Caleb's
you to
going to put it all in one bike.
Right. Okay. But I'm screaming from the rooftops to my kids, like, don't live off what I gave you. Build on what I gave you.
Sure, yeah.
Just build on it.
Yeah,
build on it. So whatever
easier.
it was, whatever it's worth to you, just add to it.
Sure.
And then teach your kids to add to it as well. I think that's a biblical principle that's taught in the scriptures. You'll see that Jesus said, I go to prepare a place for you in my Father's house.
That's why the Jewish people do
just
so
keep
well,
building.
because they constantly do that for each other.
Yeah,
they constantly start them out right.
Build. Then you create generational wealth. And you have purpose. You have a meaningful burden for your life. What's wrong with most of the country today, when you talk about generations, the reason there's an identity crisis, well, I mean, there's many reasons, and they're really nefarious. They're really.
Are you going to say
really
vagina
bad.
again?
No, I'm not going to say that. What's wrong with it is they have no meaningful burden. They're not building anything. It's just what you said. They don't get up every day. They don't go to work. They have nothing to do. They're at home playing PlayStation. They're just not doing anything.
But
is
Elon Musk.
And now I don't know what sex I am. I'm a dog. I'm a cat. I have a vagina. I don't have one.
He did it! All right! Yeah!
Twice. I'll give you the trifecta by the end of the. That's it. Yeah, I think that's it.
That's
meaningful burden. Get one. If you get a meaningful burden, you solve a lot of your problems in life.
I love it.
You won't have to take LSD or anything else.
But my mom's worked her ass off her whole life, so
Yeah.
that's a. She still had anger issues that she's let go with this ayahuasca. Just saying.
Man,
she really did.
I have a seat for your mom in my sanctuary.
Oh, my mom goes to church.
Tell her come to me.
Well, she lives. My mom lives out in Amish country. She's like 2 hours from here, so she goes to her local church. But yeah, she goes every Sunday.
Good.
But it's a open church, open denomination.
We're open too. Doors wide open. So.
But I mean, it's an open denomination. Like
I'm non-denominational too.
It's more. Are you? I didn't know.
Yeah,
that.
non-denominational.
I didn't know that.
I'm not Pentecostal, but I am. But I'm non-denominational.
Are you Pentecostal?
I mean, I believe in Pentecost. Yeah.
Really?
That's
funny.
what.
That's what I went to school. That's what I grew up on.
Pentecost.
Yeah.
Pentecostals.
Yeah, that's the church I went to. It's the only church I ever went to as a kid. Other than my grandmother used to take me to Baptist church, which I never liked because it was too structured. But
I don't really understand the whole idea of the different denominations.
I guess I didn't know that you guys were
It's just a Bible. You just
Do you know who
believe the
Jim
Bible.
Justice is?
Yeah.
Okay, that's who I went to his church. I went to. There was a brother Shamlin. Do you remember him? That's probably before you.
Sounds familiar, but
that's him and Jim Justice. That was Jim Justice actually lives across the street from Tex right
I know
now.
Jim.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
Yeah, but we're non-denominational. But of course, I believe in Pentecost. So yeah,
So do you
it's
speak
in the
in
Bible.
tongues in your church?
Yeah, that's in the Bible.
So you are Pentecostal then?
No, we're non-denominational.
I mean, that means you'll accept anybody, but you're preaching Pentecostal type religion, right?
I believe in Pentecost.
Okay.
Yeah. If it's in the Bible, I believe it. That's it. Healing, restoration, all of it. I believe it.
I'm gonna go write a Bible.
The
now.
precedence. No, the
add some
precedence.
stuff
Here's we live by the precedence of God's word, the precedence of the early church, and the precedence of the life of Jesus. That's
Okay.
it. Yeah, you do those things, you win.
I get it. Yeah, I went to the church. So, do you have a lot of people that wear long, like denim skirts and stuff? No, you don't have that. That's why the church I went to. That's how it was.
That's your Pentecost.
Yeah, that's how the
Pentecostal.
church I went to was. That's what it was. Yeah. And my daughter's one friend was the same way. Her mom would come over and had that, and the daughter would only go to school like that.
Yeah, I remember going to school with a bunch of Pentecostals.
Mostly Puerto Rican. Mostly they were Puerto Rican.
Yeah, they
mostly,
were.
yeah.
Yeah.
But the church I went to wasn't a Hispanic church, but the ones in school were almost all Hispanic. Yeah. Yep, for sure. That was pretty. Yeah, I didn't know that. I learned something today.
You didn't know we were non-denominational?
No, I did not. I didn't know what you were.
Oh, see, now you're safe.
I didn't pay attention.
You're safe.
I didn't pay attention whatsoever.
Tell your wife you're safe. There's a place for you.
No, I just never. I like that though. I didn't like the Baptist. I don't like Baptist and Catholic because I don't like the structure.
Can you tell the difference between them?
Yes, oh God, yes.
Well, what's the difference?
Structure.
Like,
Structure.
what do they do?
Baptist is structured. Like you go. There's times everything's set.
Really?
Yeah, there's not. That's like in a Pentecostal church. If you go in to talk to the preacher, it might be a half hour, but Jim might be there an hour and a half. It's hard to say. You don't know. It seems how winded he is that day, right? I mean, isn't that usually the? I mean, that's how I grew up, anyways.
The priority of every congregational gathering should be the presence of Christ.
I agree with that, but when I go to a Baptist church, it was always structured, which I always thought was weird. Like he'd be in the middle of the story and be like, "Oh, time's up. See you later."
Oh no,
I don't
you
like
can't do
that.
that.
No,
there's no way you can do that.
That can't.
You can't dictate that.
I agree that.
Those were philosophical adjustments I've had to adjust and make over the years as a leader in the ministry. Just saying, no, we don't.
I didn't even know that.
We're not dictated.
I didn't know there was
by-
a bigger church than like Jim Justice's church. I thought he was like the biggest Pentecostal church around here. I thought back then when he was on the lake. I don't know if you ever.
He's still there, yeah, right?
He's not a preacher no more that I know.
No, but
I think his brother
that
is
church
or
is
something,
still
right?
there. I don't know.
I think his brother's a preacher
I really
now.
do mind my own business, honestly.
Do you?
I know we had conversations earlier where we mentioned names, but I mind my own business. I'm like, no, I'm gonna do what I do. And a lot of those experiences have taught me that. Just
Jim Justice is a good guy,
Keep your
though.
head down and just keep trucking, and try not to pay attention to stuff. But I should get more involved in politics and stuff. But a lot of people tell you not to because it's.
Well, that reminds me, I've got
not
it
good.
set up and I've got it ordered, my book case. And I've got it set up with the city. I talked with Baez and he's got the approval for us to put one at Oakwood Park. So my thing that I was going to do, I did it. So
I did mine.
I'm ordering
I had
mine
a
already.
trip to hell. You weren't there. You never came by.
I couldn't. I told you that was
that's
that too.
right.
I had too much going on that weekend.
Well,
That's
this
the way it
weekend's
is.
open.
This weekend?
Yeah.
I'll have to check.
Tell Amanda.
Hear that?
It's open.
Hear that, Amanda?
It's open. It's open.
Hear that, Amanda? It's not open this
I got
weekend.
VIP parking.
All right. On that note, we're going to get out of here. And before Troy says vagina again.
Don't trust the mainstream news outlets.
You know what?
It's not
I
done
love
till
these
it's done.
talks. They really are awesome. They really are. But I'm glad to
always
know
appreciate
that you're Pentecostal. Really,
I'm not Pentecostal. I'm non-denominational.
I get it. But that's your belief.
But I believe in Pentecost.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
There was a day of Pentecost.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what that means, but okay.
Yeah, on the day of Pentecost, the Spirit of God was poured out. They began to cloven tongues of fire were rested on each of them.
That's right. Whatever you
That's
do,
right.
Troy is not Pentecostal. We're out of here. Peace.